energy back from the lunch, and you're ready to welcome our next speaker, who is involved in smart city projects, managed BIM projects, GIS critical infrastructure projects, and IoT for smart homes and smart buildings projects. And he will talk about collective intelligence, the bond between technology and smart communities. So let's welcome him with a big round of applause. Cristian, Dragu.
Thank you. Hello, Cluj. And first of all, thank you for being here after the lunch break. And I quite like Cluj. It's my first time in Cluj only this year. And I think the city is quite amazing. Now, I usually do keynotes on smart homes, smart buildings, automation, on that. But since I got a new role in the Romanian Smart City Association, I will try to explain on a broader perspective. So I would like to start with a video that I like. And it's on smart homes, but we can start up from there and move on.
Nature can be experienced with our senses: hearing, sight, touch, taste, and smell. What if our homes could be that smart too? If we could hear the energy, touch the weather, or see the music. The devices around us become more and more intelligent. They are our chance to understand everything better and unite with the world even more. Thanks to technology, the new future is created in front of our eyes. And this new world is a great place to live. Because everything is
connected. What an amazing historical period that we live in. We have so many technologies available. If you think about 20 years ago, and you think about now, there are so many possibilities. We have, like, for instance, Internet of Things that connects sensors, connects people and with sensors and so on. And we have a lot of smart devices, some of them being smart, some of them less smart. For instance, 3 days ago, I visited a friend of mine and I saw that on the floor and asked him what it is. He's not a tech guy. He said just it's a smart scale. Okay. And he basically explained me in these terms that basically this thing sends a notification to you to stop eating pizza. Okay. So the point I want to make is that there are a lot of smart things that are not so smart available. And I completely agree with that. But on the other hand, we have so many relevant technologies that we can use. Like the speakers before talked about machine learning and deep learning. This is astonishing, amazing, because if you think about only 10 years ago, this wasn't possible. Since Google brought scale into deep learning using YouTube videos in 2012, it obtained a large percentage. It went from 60 to 90% accuracy. That's a lot. That's amazing. And you can have this and use this using one of the clouds, the main clouds. I mean, there are more, but I found this image. It was straight to the point. And you can use things like TensorFlow. You can use it for yourself, for your company, and municipalities can use for their own benefit. It's so open technology. And we have natural language processing. If you think about it, speaking to a computer some time ago was meaning speaking by code. Now, we can speak by natural language. I want to show you a short video from 3
Play
years
Top
ago.
Gear on Netflix on living room TV.
He says, play
Okay, Top Gear from Netflix. Playing on living room TV.
play Top Gear from Netflix on living room TV. This is a smart home integration. But if you think of this on a larger scale, on an industrial scale, okay, this has a huge lag, but it was 3 years ago. Now it works better. If you think of this technology on a larger scale, on an industrial scale, you can do so many amazing things. And of course, we have robotics. Also here, we have, I think, the biggest Romanian company, UiPath, that does not only physical, but virtual robotic with robotic process automation. And I don't know if you already know this, but 2 weeks ago, Elon Musk announced this.
Next year, we'll expand the product line with Model Y and Semi, and we expect to have the first operating robotaxis next year, with no one in them, next year.
So, basically, he's competing now with Uber, but he wants to reach stage 4 autonomous driving next year. We are now at stage 3, as you probably know, but reaching stage 4 next year it's like next year. It's so close. I mean, it's amazing how things are developing. And AI is all around us, from communication to economy to also marketing, and every aspect of our lives, and is getting more and more inside our lives. But that's not just the technology that we can harvest. We can, I don't know if you know this, but building informational modeling is used for architects and engineers to collaborate together on large 3D models, large 3D scales, to work on amazingly huge projects. So basically, the architect collaborates with the geotechnical engineer, with the structural engineer, with the electrical team in the same time. This wasn't possible before. Also, we all know geographic information system, we use that, but if you think from the municipality's point of view, from this perspective, using this in order to have better, not only to design, but also to monitor the infrastructure, the utilities, the water canals, and so on, the parks and the parkings, and so on. You can have an overview as a city manager, as a mayor, as a decision maker, in only one room with what's happening in the city. This is amazing technology. And all of those technologies and many, many more available in order for us to have smart homes, smart buildings, in order to produce better. I think in the first part of the day somebody talked about Industry 4.0. For me, Industry 4.0 is not only producing better, but in a more sustainable way and in a safer way. And of course, all the technology in order to connect better and have smarter cities and smarter communities. I like more talking about smarter communities because talking about smart cities left out the rural part, and that's not okay. But we also want to be smart citizens. And now I'm in the smart everything stage, and one question arises. What does smart mean? Because in the English dictionary, of course, we don't use the verb, and we only use the adjective, and it's referred to intelligence. So smart meaning intelligent, but then what does intelligent mean? I'm sorry for the watermark, but I really like this kid's face. And actually, we don't know, by definition, accepted by the scientific society, what intelligence is. Okay? Many people try to define intelligence, but we don't have actually a definition commonly agreed by the scientific society. So, when Marvin Minsky, the co-founder of the MIT Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Lab, tried to define artificial intelligence, needed to know how to define intelligence. Okay? And he came up with one innovative solution and said, intelligence is a suitcase word. It's too broad to be defined. It cannot be defined and contains so many other concepts that are also, some of them, suitcase words, like consciousness and awareness and so on. So basically, that's how he closed the topic. But I want you to look at this. Every one of you knows the story of a boy left in the jungle, raised by animals. And I want you to do this exercise. Think about one person left out of the context of society before knowing how to speak and before acquiring knowledge from society. Do you think this person could be intelligent as we perceive intelligent now? Do you think could ever be intelligent as we perceive intelligent? Of course not. My point is that intelligence is not a thing that necessarily arises in me and you as individuals, but it arises in groups. Sorry for that, though I wanted to say just that. The only thing that he could have is the instinct for survival and his emotions. Now, I know that these are reactions, but... And the intelligence is part of the group. If you think, from the beginning of time, intelligence was developed when society was developing, and us humans, as animals, we can share things that we learn to the group. More we share, more connected we are, more intelligent is the group. So we can talk about collective intelligence. Now, MIT developed a Center for Collective Intelligence. And by their definition, collective intelligence is the result of groups of individuals acting together in ways that seem intelligent. Now, by that definition, collective intelligence has been around for quite a long, like armies, countries, companies, families, religions, cults, and so on. But now, in the last period, we have something else, something more. If you think of, for instance, Google and Wikipedia, where people share their information, link the websites on Google, and with the Google technology, you're able to search something in the Google search bar. And the results are often quite intelligent. So this is a platform where collective intelligence is not referred only to people, but to people and computers. The same with Wikipedia, where people all around the world contribute to the content, and the technology makes it possible for you and me to have it, and many times without even paying for it. Another thing, I just want to mention that I'm not talking here about general AI. I am talking only about narrow AI. We don't know yet how general AI will be, so I'm just talking about a machine that will perform a single task at least as best as a human being. And for that, the MIT for Collective Intelligence has also a purpose. It's to explore how computers and people can be so connected that collectively they can act more intelligently than any person, group, or computer has ever done before. Now, this is one thing. The second thing is ethics. The MIT Center for Collective Intelligence looks at ethics because we live in the era of disruption and things are happening really, really fast. Even if we are in the fourth industrial revolution and every industrial revolution before just took some jobs and created others, we are now talking about disruption. And things are happening really, really, really fast. Now I'm going to turn a good example into a bad example. UiPath raised nearly 600 million and promised to bring RPA to the front office. Now they have some ethical code that is really, really relevant and well put in place. But if you think of other companies that can do that can influence one industry that you are talking about millions or tens of millions of people, and they can shape that industry in the period of time that is relatively small, you might create economical problems. Another example is this.
And as I said, where in any locations where there's not enough supply for sharing, Tesla will just make its own cars and add them to the network in that place.
So basically, he says Tesla will make Uber obsolete. And if we look back, you see that normal taxis was replaced by Uber, some of them. And however, Uber created the jobs. Now, he says, Elon Musk says, now, if you buy a Tesla, you can make it work for you, so you have your job. But in places where you don't have a Tesla, where you don't have people with Teslas willing to put them on the road for taxis, they will bring their own fleet. Now, bringing their own fleet means taking all those jobs. We will see how it happens, and if he's confident that in 1 year we will have robotaxis. Now, we live in a historical period of human progress, and there's a lot of change. And with change, we have big opportunities, amazing opportunities. So we at the Romanian Smart City Association try to harvest that opportunity, seize that opportunity, and take it to the central and local authorities first. And we try to explain that technology is the essential factor, and we try to explain that from 2020, you cannot receive funding from the EU if you will not have the project designed in a certain way and monitored in a certain way. And you probably guess that when we are talking with some city managers, some mayors, some of them, you can imagine how they feel and how they look at you. If you cannot, I can help you. Okay? But the point I want to make is that usually a person is specialized in one domain, like a mayor, maybe a civil engineer, okay? And he can look into that. But he's not used to have such a large amount of information, so large amount of data. And the first thing, the most important thing that we do at the Romanian Smart City Association is education. We have a Smart City Academy It's both for public and for private, but we have more and more public agencies and local authorities participating to this, and we are really, really happy that this happens. We have a set of experts that are not only academic experts, but are experts that manage projects. And this is relevant because managing projects lets you share, you can share the information, good or bad, related to one project. Another thing that we have is the Smart City Caravan. If they don't come to us, we go to them, basically. And we base this on this ecosystem, the smart city ecosystems, on 4 pillars. The public, so central and local authorities. The private, the companies that have the products and are willing to expose, to show their products in order to implement projects. The third is the academic society, that's very important to us. And the fourth is the civil society, is the most important, because smart city projects are for people. We also have the Smart City Industry Awards, and I want to congratulate Cluj because last year Cluj won the biggest prize for smart city projects, and congratulations to all of you for that, because you all contribute to that. And we are implementing standards in Romania, because in order to have strategy, we have to have standards. If we don't have standards, we cannot create a powerful strategy. And we need strategy, both local and national strategy. Romania is one of the first countries that now is developing a national smart city strategy. This is the smart city map of Romania. In blue, you have counties with smart city projects in place. We hope that it will all become blue, and we hope that in a short period of time, we will have more integrated projects, because we are not talking about smart city like we have smart lighting and that's it, or we have smart connectivity in one square. That's not smart city. Smart city, it's about smart energy, smart environment, smart government, smart living, smart people. And it's all around us. It's not like a bunch of sensors in one city. Okay. You could also get involved, because if you are experts in those technologies that we talked about earlier, or in other relevant technologies for smart city, you can get involved. At the end of the presentation, you will have our website, and you can share there your details, your experience. If you're already participated in smart city projects, please share your knowledge with us, so we can bring more information to our platform and extend the network that we have of experts. And together we can make some brilliant projects. We're also part of the World Smart City Organization that basically works in a lot of countries. It's based in London. I don't know for how much time. But we have a group of experts, worldwide experts, on each field, each vertical, and we support cities to build their projects, their strategy, their smart city strategy. And you can be part of our global network of experts. Okay, we also do, based on our KPI, the KPIs that we develop, we do assessment on projects, on smart city projects, and we base these KPIs on international standards and taking into account the EU, the European Commission indicators. So we can analyze and deliver a strategy for smart cities. Basically, this is what we do. I want to thank this guy, the president of Romanian Smart City Association. I want you to follow him on LinkedIn if you want. He developed this smart city network ecosystem from 4 years ago. 4 years ago, if you talk about smart city in a municipality, I think you know the answer. You saw the face before. Now we have more than 100 municipalities in our city, in our smart city network, and they are really involved. They are participating to this. So this is great. We also have more than 100 private members from the biggest companies, Microsoft, Dell, Aseco, and so on, to the smallest companies. So I leave you all the contacts. If you want to share your information, or your knowledge, your experience, you can write those websites. You can follow also me on LinkedIn, and you can write on my email if you think that there's something relevant to talk about. Now, I think you started that after.
Not really.
Yeah, I have left 5 minutes for questions.
15 minutes. So, do we have any other questions? Anyone? I'm coming.
Hi, thank you for the talk. I'm curious about your hesitations or your thoughts about what are the biggest concerns or hurdles that the smart city movement is going to face in the next 5 to 10 years.
I'm sorry, my biggest concerns.
Like, I mean, from a ethics, from a surveillance capitalism, from all, there's like a lot of people are afraid of IoT, and people are afraid of having robots watching them everywhere they go. And so I'm wondering, like, what do you think the crux of this issue is? What do you think solutions are? Or what do you think is actually the problem, or is there one?
Now, this is a very important topic, and we can talk on this, I think, for hours. But, I mean, technology is inevitable. We can use it as we are using it. We are all already monitored. And, I mean, you have a smartphone, you're already monitored. But in a context of smart city, you can monitor the things that are relevant to that city. I mean, one mayor or one city manager cannot monitor everything in the city. Of course, there are other companies or institutions that must do that. But in order to do that, we need to understand how things work. If we are building, some infrastructure project, we need to monitor it. If we don't monitor it, we'll never know how to get it better. Or some utilities projects, for instance, okay? You have to have sensors because it's critical infrastructure. I mean, you have to have that. Now we are exposed. We are more exposed now than we could be when things are becoming smart. But from what you said, I think you are referring to people. So things related to people, because for a smart city aspect doesn't mean that it has to trace you as a person. I mean, we must track things, analyze them from a statistical point of view, and give better solutions. I mean, if the water is polluted, we have to know where it's polluted, how it's polluted. We have to monitor that with sensors. We have to understand how we can solve that problem. I don't know if I answered your question, but I don't know if you are referring more to controlling people, because if you are referring more to controlling people, that's what internal agencies do. I cannot answer that question.